Hey y'all, this is AL with Madame. Before anybody even asks me, y'all, this is what I got going on. It ain't gonna last, but I mean, I got tempted. I haven't had anything like this in my hair in like 15 years, maybe a little bit longer, but yeah. I remember the first time I tried something like this, I was amazed, and then my hair was like, what we not finna do is this, and everything looked like a complete and utter mess after no time. But yeah, this is what I have in my head right now. I love organic root stimulator products. They smell amazing. I already knew that this was going to smell good anyway because I have had something that had, I'm probably going to say it wrong, Piqué oil in it. Piqué, Piqué oil in it before, and it smelled good to me. So I didn't even need to open this to smell it to see if it was going to smell good or not. I already knew it was going to smell good, but this is Edge Control hair gel. And I mean, it gets every single hair, but I mean, like I said, it's like I want to say greasy, but it's not. But if I were to lay on something, it would cause a mess. So I'll have to wrap my hair up at night before I go to sleep. And I'll probably have to reapply it again in the morning, y'all. I just hate the fact that it doesn't match the hair once you're done. It's just like, ooh, this is all shiny right here. But then if you don't put it all over your head, then it's just this part is shiny that you slick down, but the rest isn't. But I digress, y'all. I just wanted to come to y'all with that first because I know somebody probably would want to know what I had going on. And look at it, already reverting. And I got it because it said it was the one that was reversion resistant. But as you see, my new growth is already setting it off. But anyway, so this is the second season, third episode of She's Gotta Have It. And Nola is on her way to Martha's Vineyard. She was on the boat, and as I suspected, that is the place where you have to take a ferry or boat or whatever in order to get to the actual little island or whatever it is that is on, the piece of land that is on. And she's on there, she's talking to somebody, and they're talking to her like, yeah, you know what this weekend means, you got to get to having some sex and things because a lot of people that are out there and they are looking for that as well. And so she's like, no, I'm just going to focus on my artwork. And I don't know, I honestly feel like Jamie Overstreet and or Greer is going to be out there some kind of way. Because Jamie, he, has all that good money and influence. His wife probably going to be out there with the dude that she's sleeping with, if nothing else. So I would be surprised if at least the Overstreets aren't going to be there, whether they are separate or together for appearance purposes or not. But yeah, I'd be shocked if they aren't there. But they are on the little boat making their way over to Martha's Vineyard. So we're going to see how that goes. So they have made it to the island, and they are now being shown to their rooms. And her friend Dutch, who came with her, she's already been there before, so she knows the lay of the land. Excuse me, I don't know why I keep yawning, y'all. I'm not really tired like that. But anyway, these people are trying me. These people are really trying me today. But anyway, so the guy who I told y'all was on Power. Oh my gosh, I had his name. But he's guest starring in this episode. But anyway, he's the one who is showing her around. He actually took her to her room, which everybody has like their own individual house, so to speak. It's like really nice. But they actually all have their own individual studios that they can go to as well. And I mean, it's a really nice workspace. So he took her there, and she was like, really? This is all mine for me to create? And that is crazy. So for 7 days, everybody has access to one of those. All of the contestants, all the people who were invited out there, rather. I don't know why I'm yawning, y'all. But anyway, they all have access to one of those buildings. Like, it's a whole building. Like, it's like the size of their room / houses. Like, it's really spacious. So, and I mean, they're like see-through, like glass, and like it's really cool how they have it set up, right? Okay. So they ended up going to like this little outside shindig that seems to be like a welcome to Martha's Vineyard, Nation Time, whatever, because that's what it's called, Nation Time. Cool. So, excuse me, y'all. As Nola and Dutch were walking by, this big black, I mean, he handsome or whatever, this nice looking guy, he is like at a table and he sees them and he is getting his life. Like, he is just, you can tell by the way he's looking that he's very interested in what he sees when he sees Nola Darling. So they go on about their business and they go and talk about some other things. And he is steadily staring at her. So Nola's friend, she is a straight shooter. She was like, look, she already could peep. Old dude was looking at Nola from across the room, so to speak, outside, from across the yard is what I should say. And so she was in the middle of talking to her and then called the boy over there. His name is Olu. So he politely came right on over there. She introduced them, and little did Dutch know, Nola already knew him. She knew his work and all that stuff or whatever. Like, she knew him because of his work. And, you know, y'all, the kind of work he does art-wise, I was like, what? Tell me why. He creates sculptures out of horse or cow dung. Now, y'all know what, if you don't know what that is, look it up, because I'm not going into that. But yeah, apparently he does amazing work with that. And it's like, wow, that is so crazy. But it's cool at the same time. Well, at least to me, because I'm into art. But so Nola ends up going and trying to fraternize with other ladies. And then they are interrupted by a speech that the guy Sterling, that's what I keep calling him, y'all. I don't know why. I can't think of what his name is on this show. But he was Tasha's boyfriend on Power, y'all. But anyway, he, you know, got everybody's attention, and then he ended up introducing Dean. Now, Dean is this white guy who appropriates what is considered to be black culture. He had a bottom row of goals. He looked like a mess in the hair. I was just like, why are you there? Like, that whole situation is black excellence. But apparently he's like funding it or something. He has a hand in that. So I'm just like, so he got up there and did a speech. He was one of those people talking about my brothers, my sisters, and all this other stuff. Y'all, I can't do it. Stuff like that already get on my nerves when people are fake woke who say all that. But him, the appropriation is just so infuriating. And Nola, and y'all, I don't know if I need to go back and see it. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what was his deal before, because Nola, after he was done, he rolled up on Nola, and everybody else rolled out. They was like, yep, that's all you. And he rolled up and congratulated her on everything that she has accomplished and all the other good stuff. And she is just not here for him. Y'all, Nola was so shook. She was like having like breathing problems, to the point where she was walked back to her room by her friend Dutch, and she was like having I just had it. I don't know why. It just left my mind like that. But she was having a panic attack, I guess, and she was breathing all crazy, and she had to tell her friend to breathe. And she had to make her drink some Fiji water, so she drank a sip of that. Then she calmed her breathing. And I was just like, girl, what in the world? So anyway, after she calmed down, she ended up going to that little studio, trying to have some inspiration and find some inspiration, because when she went before and was in it, she was just so happy that she was there, and it was just everything was hitting her at once, that amazing opportunity. So then she went in there trying to, you know, create, and all these memories of Dean and just the fact that he's there and infuriating her fueled nothing really. So she was in her feelings, couldn't do nothing. And then when she did come up with something, it was a painting of Dean with a paintbrush. Looked like she had stabbed it through his temple and blood was coming out on the sides. I was like, girl, no. So anyway, she ended up leaving because she just wanted to get away from the area for the time being. So she left. They had bicycles for them to ride if they want to. So she rode off to go exploring and to see if she could find inspiration. So she ended up going to this beach park, and it was a group of 3 ladies there, and she asked if she could take their pictures, and they said sure. And she was just taking pictures all along the way. It was a lot of beautiful scenery. Then eventually she went to one part, and it had an older black couple sitting on their porch, and she spoke to them, they spoke back, and she asked if she could get like a glass of water or something, and they had a picture out already. And so they said sure. So they sat down and were talking to her, and they randomly started talking about how the first black people came there to Martha's Vineyard, how it was. They were indentured servants. Ugh. I get tongue-tied. My whole life, every single time I say that, I get tongue-tied. But anyway, and that's how that all started. And then eventually it got to a place where black people were allowed to be there and vacation there and live there and all that other stuff. So they felt like there was a safe place in being there. So that's when they came. And after a while, they themselves came, and businesses sprung up, and they were able to do what they needed to do back in the day. I thought it was nice. I thought it was really, really cute how they had a moment where not really all of them, I don't think. It was like a decent number of the black people who were invited there. They all met up, and they were sitting at a table having like wine and all that, and they were discussing art. And they were talking to this one woman in particular who, out of like 50 people, they chose her, and they dwindled down to 5 people. And they ultimately got back to her after a couple of months and chose her to paint Michelle Obama. So, somebody asked her how was that experience for her, and that's when she explained that. And it was just like, wow. Like, one of the guys was like, that has to be amazing for you. Or all the other people who come up in there and they painted people, your stuff stands out because your style of work is completely different from the stuff that is usually seen when you are in the White House or anywhere remotely close to anything presidential. So that was amazing. Wait a minute, y'all. So Nola is in her little studio, and this is like at nighttime. She out there, she's doing a self-portrait. Y'all, she is not inspired. She ain't doing nothing that stands out at this point. I'm just saying what it is. It just is what it is. She ain't doing nothing that stands out. She ain't doing nothing that people would live for, in my opinion. It looks nice or whatever, but don't nobody care. So anyway, she out there in the middle of the night, and then she looks over and she sees something that catches her eye. She think about it for a second, then she end up leaving out. She has like one of those little lanterns. They have like a little fancy-esque lantern. So she went outside walking, and then next thing I know, I see a naked body. I was like, what's going on right here? So the dude, what's that, Olo, I probably just said his name all the way wrong. But anyway, the guy who was interested in her earlier that does the cow dung, does sculptures out of cow dung, he is in his studio with a whole lot of cow dung, and he is creating a sculpture out of cow dung while naked. So Nola roll all the way up, and she's standing outside. Next thing you know, this heifer reaches like on her chest. And y'all know Nola doesn't really have a chest like that. So she's already on her chest. The chest is already out. And she looked like she's about to halfway masturbate. She over here messing with her nipple and all this other stuff. She looking at him like, yes. Just like, girl, if you don't get somewhere. She is doing the most. I really died laughing at her in that point. And I was just like, girl, you was really doing the most. But, she done had this breakup. She's not with anybody. She hadn't been having sex with anybody. So y'all know how Nola get down. She had sex on the regular. So she hasn't been doing anything, had been in her feelings. So she is, out here being very much so lustful. So then she eventually leaves and going back where she's supposed to be. So she did go and get some snacks, because you know, the nighttime, a lot of time you be like, man, let me get some snacks. And you just mindlessly eat. So that's what she did. She went and got some snacks from somewhere. Some of them look healthy. It was like some seaweed chips or something she had at the time that she opened up. One of the things that she did open up, right? And so I was like, oh, okay. So then she starts hearing somebody having sex. I don't know if it was Dutch or not, but y'all, one of the people that's there is this guy who is just, ugh. He just seems immature. He's like one of those people who's like really into Instagram, which there's nothing wrong with, but he does like a lot of stuff on Instagram. He has like the little, I don't even know what they call it, but he has like what's the thing called, like scarves, like masking his face. Look like he is ready for a whole dirt bike ride somewhere. Like that's what he does. He always hiding his face and all that. Anyway, he had just finished having sex with somebody. I think it's Dutch. I don't know. And so when he was about to leave out, she had came out of her room, which was next door, and she was just standing there, like, yep, and just eating her stuff like she knows she wrong. I was like, girl, you were just you were so shady. I am so happy that they brought up Henrietta Lacks. If y'all have never seen that, they did this thing on her. Oh my gosh, y'all, look her up. Look up Henrietta Lacks. Y'all, that told my nerves down. Like I cannot. Okay, y'all, look. I live for the movie that I saw on Henrietta Lacks. So I looked up something real quick. I'm going to read it to y'all. Because if you don't know nothing about it, you need to. Because Henrietta Lacks was very important in African American history. So let me read this off to y'all. Okay, y'all? So just bear with me. Okay. In 1951, a young mother of 5 named Henrietta Lacks visited the Johns Hopkins Hospital complaining of vaginal bleeding. Upon examination, renowned gynecologist Dr. Howard Jones discovered a large malignant tumor on her cervix. At the time, the Johns Hopkins Hospital was one of only few hospitals to treat poor African Americans. As medical records show, Mrs. Lacks began undergoing radium treatments for her cervical cancer. This was the best medical treatment available at the time for this terrible disease. A sample of her cancer cells retrieved during a biopsy were sent to Dr. George Gee's, I guess that's how you say it, or how it's pronounced, nearby tissue lab. For years, Dr. Gee, a prominent cancer and virus researcher, had been collecting cells from all patients who came to Johns Hopkins Hospital with cervical cancer, but each sample quickly died in his lab. What he would soon discover was that her cells were unlike any of the others he had ever seen. Where other cells would die, hers doubled every 20 to 24 hours. Today, these incredible cells, nicknamed HeLa cells, from the first 2 letters of the first and last names, used to study the effects of toxins, drugs, hormones, and viruses on the growth of cancer cells without experimenting on humans. They have been used to test the effects of radiation and poisons, to study the human genome, to learn more about how viruses work, and played a crucial role in the development of the polio vaccine. Although Mrs. Lacks ultimately passed away October 4th, 1951, at the age of 31, her cells continue to impact the world. Y'all need to watch that dang movie. What was it called? Wait a minute. I just saw it. The movie was called, let me see it. I thought I just saw it, because I saw that movie and it was amazing. I just saw it. What happened? This is making me mad. I know I just saw that. Let me see if I look under news, if it'll pop up. I don't know what's going on, because I literally just saw the name of it. I'm sorry about that time that y'all have wasted. But yeah, just put in Henrietta Lacks, Lacks, and you will see what I'm talking about. I think it's like The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks or something like that. But anyway, I saw that. When I tell y'all, I had no idea who she was. I had never heard anybody discuss her before. None of my classes, nothing during Black History Month. And then all of a sudden, when that movie came out, I was like, okay, let me see what this hitting for. So I went and I saw the movie and I was like, oh my gosh, like Henrietta Lacks was everything. But anyway, Dutch, back to the recap. Dutch, she did some sort of art in relation to her, and it was really cool. I was like, yes, girl, you gotta do that. And so her agent, manager, or whatever she is to her was there. So she went over to introduce Nola to her, and Nola, she was just like, oh, okay, hey, nice to meet you too. And she did not like do like normal people, while everybody else was there and making a great impression and introducing themselves to people and what their work is. She didn't say nothing else to her. So then the woman was like, yeah, so I guess we'll go find something to drink. And so her and Dutch went off, and Dutch looked at her like, girl, what's wrong with you? Like, that's the look on her face. To me, that's what it looked like. But this woman who she actually likes, she was like, oh my gosh, I love you, I love you, I love you. She came over, and actually she found out then that she vouched for her. That's why she was able to get in and all this other stuff. But like I said, she didn't do her best, and I think that's ridiculous. Like, it's like, girl, you over here getting shook by this random white man that you know how he is. You know how he is trying to appropriate stuff. So why are you getting so worked up about him? Prove him wrong. Do what you need to do and let your work speak for you, like you normally try to do, instead of just being so shook by his presence. So she wasn't even able to be her full self because she was so focused on the fact that that man was there. So I was like, girl, you don't go somewhere and sit down. While this little display was going on, Ola, he ended up seeing her, and, you know, they actually went for a walk, and he was like, you know, I've been to this place 3 times. I never show my work. I feel like I shouldn't have to put my stuff on display until I'm ready, and my work is not ready, and all this other stuff. So he was just like, I don't want people to come over here and judge my stuff. So they ended up actually going for a walk on the beach, and they were talking, and they were holding hands. You would have thought they were in a relationship. I was like, y'all doing the most. Y'all are really doing the most. I mean, y'all cute together, but y'all doing the most. I was tired. So ultimately, they get to their last dinner, and while they are about to start eating, Nola ended up saying that she had an announcement to make, and she went off about Dean, the guy who was appropriating Black culture and how he's a poser and all this other stuff. And then he, in turn, was like, look, I just wanted to, you know, show how much I support Black lives, all this other stuff, all this black stuff or whatever. And he was like, he was talking about how his mama's dead, but she's not dead for real. But he feels as though she's dead because she doesn't respect him and his decision to have a Black woman. So he has a Black woman as a wife, and they have a mixed child, and he was talking about she don't appreciate that, or she has a problem with him and who he chooses to love and all this other stuff. And then he actually says that he's the one who put the G's all over the different buildings to stand for gentrification. But y'all know Papa was the one who went down for that for 18 months. So he was in jail behind that, and he didn't even do it. And he tried to tell the people that he didn't do that. And they feel like his past is what provoked what happened, but it wasn't even him. So that was the dumb part. She told him how trifling he was, and he was like, well, I'm sorry about that. I didn't even know. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that man was in jail for no reason, y'all. So anyway, he, said what he had to say. He was like, well, I really agree with a lot of what you said, and I think that I should donate your $10,000 to the women at, what's that all-women's school in Atlanta? I think that's what he was talking about, the all-women's school. I don't even know why I can't think of what's wrong with me. I hate when I draw a blank like this. But it's an all-women's school in Atlanta, Georgia, I think, because it's supposed to represent Black excellence. So that's why he was like, education is more important. And I was like, oh, okay, you done went all the way off though. You know, more houses for the men, and it's the other one that's for the women. I don't even know why I can't think of it right now, but yeah, he was talking about he was gonna donate her $10,000 to that. So she was just looking like, okay, because he walked off. So then their time had come to an end. She and Dutch packed up their things that they had created along with their actual bags, and they were headed to a ferry that was going to take them back to the other side, far away from Martha's Vineyard. And while she was on the boat, you know, she was just sitting there, and she saw and unfolded the little number that Olo had given her. It had his number because he rolled up on her and was like, you know, wanting to, you know, talk to her outside of that place. So hopefully she'll call him. Hopefully we'll see that in the next episode. I don't know if I'm going to do that today because I really want to play video game, y'all. I have not played in a while, so I just updated it yesterday. I had like a couple of maps and all of that stuff, so I'm about to get off here. I hope y'all enjoyed this recap. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all favorite part of it. Did y'all think Olo was fine or what? Like, what y'all think, ladies? And some of the gents. Y'all just let me know down in the comment section what y'all liked about it and what y'all didn't like about it and all the crazy stuff that was going on. Like it if you want to, comment if you want to, share it if you want to. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a wonderful day and y'all are keeping cool out here on this Memorial Day. And I will see y'all on the next video. Bye.